So this topic has been under my radar for a few weeks, so this is old news, better late than never, but I do have quite a few things to actually say about this whole entire Pachamama thing. So we're gonna be going back to the good old days of mocking Christianity. Just to mock it at this point is to beat a dead horse. The thing that worries me about this whole thing with religion is I'm sincerely hoping that Christians and mainly Catholics around the world know who their next enemy is. And it's not people like me, it's not the atheists so much, it's not the pagans, it's not the witches, it's basically the Islamist jihadists and fucking Muslims that's the new threat to you. So you guys have to fight people that are more retarded than you and more schizophrenic than you. Of course, I believe that everybody's a hypocrite to a degree, but the biggest ones are the political elite and also the fucking religious. This is gonna be such fucking cringe. I think I haven't seen any pagans on YouTube talk about this, but I figured I'll do my due diligence and actually talk about this because the evolution of my own religiosity or spirituality has evolved, so there is the Catholic side and the pagan side when it comes to this situation, and I can safely say that I've been on both sides. I just want to look at the synopsis of this and how this big brouhaha had come to unfold. So let's run to the fucking hills, guys, because Catholics are running amok. Ultra-conservative Catholic militants admitted they stole statues they consider to be Amazon pagan idols from a church near the Vatican on Monday. This happened a few weeks ago, and dumped them from a bridge into the Tiber River. A video posted on the internet and given prominence on the conservative Catholic media websites, whatever the fuck these blah 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 these things here. To which the police said they were treating it as theft. The statues were on display along with other Amazon artifacts at the Church of Santa Maria in Transpontia, several blocks from the Vatican. The three identical statues of a kneeling pregnant indigenous woman, this thing here, were replicas of ones used during a tree planting ceremony in the Vatican gardens in the presence of Pope Francis this month that conservatives found outrageous. Conservatives accuse the Vatican of letting what they consider the likeness of a pagan goddess of Mother Earth known as Pachamama onto sacred Christian ground. I have quite a bit of shit to fucking talk about. And right after this, what do you think the reaction was behind this? There was a bit of confusion as to why were they throwing in the river, but until word got out, a lot of Catholics were praising these men for getting rid of these artifacts, and Faith Goldie happened to be one of them that was praising them. I was a Catholic, and now that I'm no longer a Catholic, I think the Vatican, just like the monarchy, are fucking irrelevant. Why are these guys still around? Why is the Vatican still around? This edifice, the centralization of this part of Christianity is so fucking archaic and stupid and has done nothing good. Well, has done nothing good. It's done more harm than it did good. The shit still fucking exists. I'm not a fan of this whole organized religious bullshit. I'm not a fan of that. Even when I was a Catholic, by the way, I stopped being a Catholic 13 years ago, I was not a fan of these assholes. Because why? What is the I just didn't get it. I thought it was really weird. I understand there's churches and cathedrals, but this overall edifice, this centralization of this one part of Christianity is so fucking huge. Like, what's the point? What's the fucking point? I didn't understand it then, And even to this very day, it's like, how the fuck are these guys still in freaking power? Oh, are they more rich than the queen? It seems I have no freaking clue. So filthy, stinking rich. They are their own fucking city-state, and they have their own fucking passport, it seems. I'm not a fan of these guys. I'm not a fan of the Vatican. I'm not a fan of this Pope bullshit. And I'm not even a fan of Pope Francis. I'm not even a fan of him. I'm not a fan of popes just in general, because when you're going to have religion, it's so dogmatic, and you're not able to experience your own spiritual path. I find it just with the religion and someone telling you who's on top of you, this position of authority, it just cheapens the overall experience of having these spiritual experiences. I have quite a few, but just this on its own, it's not my cup of tea whatsoever. Or, as I would probably put it, not my choice of poison. Pope Francis is trying to be this woke, progressive pope, which I'm not a big fan of, and I could sympathize with the Christians on this. In the mind of a Christian, I understand where their annoyances are. I understand it. Even I would have been like, why the fuck are you allowing these people to do this ritual on this fucking ground? Like, I understand that, but if these guys were doing it in secret and they were doing it purposefully, like these pagans, if they were performing their fertility ritual on purpose just to piss off the Christians, I'll play devil's advocate and say, yeah, I could see that, it's kind of funny to me because I have a dark sense of humor, but I sympathize with the Catholics on this one. I sympathize with them in that regard, but this is where it pretty much ends for me. If you want to defend your faith, you guys could have done it in a better way without breaking your own fucking rules. You broke your own rules. The 10 Commandments is there because these are the 10 fundamental things you should not do. And you broke it. And then afterwards, a bunch of fucking Catholics were praising because we're here to defend our faith. The thing that these people did when I saw the fucking video, the worst that they did, truthfully, against these guys, against these Amazon pagans, were basically, you just pissed them off because now they gotta go back and actually make another one of these statues again. But at the same time, they broke their own fucking rule, they look like fucking hypocrites, and the only time I would say sealing is okay is for survival. Sometimes you need to do it you need to seal just for your own survival. But with that logic, how does that fit into this context? What survival? Of what? You're trying to defend your faith, I understand that, but you could have done it in a way without breaking your own fucking rules. Sorry, you stole something in which you shouldn't have. And the funny thing is, you stole something that you guys considered idol worship. And this is where the other fucking hypocrisy thing comes in, which I find just to be a little bit annoying. You see, I'm pretty sure that a lot of Christians and Catholics are very much aware that these ideas, these rituals, especially the Catholics, especially the fucking Catholics, you know what I mean? Okay, I'll get into it after, but can you guys at least acknowledge, I'm speaking to the Catholics, can you guys at least acknowledge, while you guys are against these kinds of things, that there is a crossover with paganism into your own rituals? Can you guys at least recognize that while you're out and you're burning stuff like this, you're breaking your own rules and putting it out on video and onto the internet, that the thing that you're merely against, these ideas came from somewhere, evolved, and it's been Christianized. Yes, Christianity is a ripoff after Judaism, but these ideas came from, there are pagan roots. Don't think for 1 second that there isn't. Even Islam has pagan roots. Styx made a video about it, and for some bizarre reason I can't find that video, but hey, whatever. It's very blasphemous to say that Islam has pagan roots. And let's be honest, out of all branches of Christianity, and I'm saying this as somebody who was a Catholic, who did study, especially art history and shit like that, I had to do this stuff. There is nothing more hilarious than the people that don't like this stuff actually practicing what they preach against. Catholics are obsessed with the ritualism. I've seen it. I've seen it so many billions of goddamn times. I was seeing it for the last 15 years until I could finally understand what the fuck was going on, and I saw the similarities between paganism and also Christianity. We're looking at this statue right now, and it's pretty cool looking in my opinion. I would probably get me one of those things because I'm a fucking weirdo. I like this kind of shit. But this, you're saying that there shall be no graven images before the real God. Then can you guys explain to me what the fuck is this? So no idol worship, no graven images. What the fuck is this shit? Can you at least acknowledge and recognize that you're doing the very thing that you're against? Can we at least fucking acknowledge that for 1 second? No graven images. Well, we got an angel here. We got the Virgin Mary. Oh, wait a minute. That seems a little bit odd. Virgin Mary, and this idea came from the goddess. The cross is actually pagan too. The cross is pagan. This overall thing, the architecture, the overall grandiosity, this is really representative of the Catholic Church. And I'm pretty sure that when these pagans were doing their ritual, they had an altar. I'm pretty sure of it because usually when it comes to, like I said, being very general, whenever you have these, whenever pagans are doing rituals, they usually have an altar. This is an idea that came before Christianity. And here's another good example of what it is. Now, this is a very sexy photo. I love whatever camera this motherfucker was using. I love the details on this. Love it a lot. This is also inside the Vatican. And I find it to be very hypocritical of Catholics when they say that no idol worship. Well, there's a lot of iconography and a lot of idols here to be worshipped. Very, once again, pagan-esque. Very, very pagan-esque. This is no different than what it was that I was doing when I was a practicing Wiccan a long time ago. I had my own altar. I had representatives of what I was praying to at the time. I did have something similar to this. I had an altar. I had my own things, and it's rather cool. You have the candles. Wiccans have candles too. You guys have the Bible. For some of us, we had our own Book of Shadows. For some of us, we had our own grimoires. Whatever the fuck. Very pagan-esque. Very pagan-esque. And so, dare I ask again? Dare I ask, how is this different than this? Despite my opposition to the Vatican, religion overall, I do sympathize with the Christians and their outrage on the whole, why are you letting the pagans do this ritual on the sacred ground? This should not be happening. I sympathize with the Christians on this one. I sympathize, Catholics with them on this one. But at the same time, you cannot be cheering the very thing that you guys have rules against to do. Can you at least acknowledge, recognize, and understand that the very thing that you guys don't like, these ideas precedes, and it's actually seen in your fucking... It's actually seen. It's on display. It's not like we don't know anything about this. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people... a lot of Catholics, and I'm hoping that they are educated on this, that they at least recognize that a lot of these ideas have been rooted somewhere. There are pagan roots. it's no different. What it is that you guys do is no different than what I was doing a long time ago when I was a practicing Wiccan. I hope this point will hit home with the Catholics on this one that are praising it. You see, I sympathize with those who are persecuted in other countries where Christians and Jews are getting killed for their beliefs. I understand that, and I sympathize. You are no better when you become the majority and you don't listen to your own rules. Because when it happens to you, it's not a fun experience. You guys remember when Notre Dame was set aflame? I've heard a few people say that it's kind of like a representation of an attack on Christianity. It's a very important symbol for the Catholics and for Christianity in general, but while you guys were cheering for this, others were cheering for this. So when it's gonna happen to you, you won't be laughing. So I would suggest that if you're going to be worried about those who are going to be attacking your religion, you're going to have to worry about the ones that are more of a threat than just some petty little pagans, and also some questionable people that claim to be of your own faith as well. I'll end the video here, guys. Peace the fuck out.